Hello and welcome to Wild on 6TV, the Oxford Channel. I'm here today at Millar's Ark, a rare breeds farm, and these are various chickens. And later on we'll have a chicken identification guide, but first, some action. So I'm joined now by Elizabeth Millar, who is the Miller of Millar's Ark. And several of her little, what type of pigs are these?
These are the New Zealand Maori pig, the Kuni Kuni.
Little Kuni pig. How old are they?
3 weeks old.
This isn't an unnatural situation for you, is it? Because all of your animals are so friendly. You must spend hours with them.
They have a lot of fun, I think. I think if you've got to live on a farm and you can't live in the fantasy world of complete freedom, then it's a jolly good place to be at Roke, yeah.
Now, Elizabeth, you've got this medley of different animals. What's going on here? What's the purpose of the farm?
Well, when I started the farm, I wanted to breed rare breeds of cattle, sheep, pigs and goats and poultry, which I did, but I very quickly realised that that wasn't going to make me a living, and so I diversified into a mobile farm. So we take kit, as we call it, which is a four-wheel drive vehicle and a big trailer, out to schools and nurseries, residential homes and hospitals. And we take a whole bunch of friendly farm animals with us to interact with adults and children alike.
And people can also come here, can't they?
Yes, we're not an open farm, but we do have open days. We have birthday parties on the farm, and we do smallholder courses, taster courses if you want to start with a pig or a sheep or a goat. We do courses for that.
Because you were saying that often people now are moving into the countryside and they want to keep an animal, some kind of farm animal, and they really don't have a clue of how to get going.
Yes, I think in the catchment area all around London, people who get to a certain position in their business and have enough salary, they then move to a nice house in the country with a few acres, and they really want to keep something, perhaps not just a horse, but something else. But they lack that sort of ability to know how to look after it, and so they can come here, have a day's taster, cuddle and feed everything, and when they decide on their favourite animals, we could supply them because we sell animals, or just advise them on where to go from there.
But it's not just for the privileged, is it? Because you work with some vulnerable members of society as well, don't you?
Yes, we're doing more and more now with special needs in all areas, adults and children.
You had an extraordinary day where some children that had been bereaved came, and you had to find some chickens that had also lost relatives.
We did a link with the local hospice, and they had a lot of kiddies coming in for the day. Who basically had lost mums or dads or relatives, grannies and grandpas. And we had to find a rabbit who'd lost her babies, which we did have, and a chicken who lost her sister, which we did have. And they related to these two animals who had experienced loss and drew pictures of them and explained how the animals felt. And this was a way of the occupational therapist attached to the hospice helping them to face up to their own loss and anxiety and sadness.
So there's all of these human links, but there's also a reason for preserving the animals that you have here. You said you started off breeding rare animals. What's that about?
Well, in England today, a lot of the native breeds are under threat because the continental breeds have become so popular. The supermarkets, as they do, dictate really what's grown in this country. But we firmly believe in the Rare Breed Survival Trust that the native breeds should be kept and encouraged, both because of the value of the genetic material and because in the future we may well go back to a farming situation where the slow-growing, grass-eating native breeds which are suited to this island will be used much more.
So I'm joined now by Michelle Leake, who's from DEFRA, the Department of Food and Rural Affairs. That's right, isn't it? It's about environment, food and rural affairs. We're going to stay with it, Michelle.
Okay.
Because otherwise I'm going to go on getting it wrong over and over again.
Okay.
Environment, food and rural affairs. And you run an agri-environment scheme. You are an advisor to the grants, giving grants to people for agri-environment schemes.
That's right, yes. I'm part of the agri-environment team which deal with the Countryside Stewardship Scheme, which is one of 10 schemes that DEFRA run to try and enhance the countryside and diversify the rural economy.
We've got these barns behind us and you're restoring the old barns.
That's right. The restoration of the barns is actually part of a larger package under the stewardship agreement on this particular farm, and you know, they're looking fantastic now. The ones around the other
side. Let's go and have a look. There's one in progress over here. There's one in progress, isn't there? Have a look at this one.
This work started in about October
Yeah.
of last year, and you can see it's probably going to take several months for them to restore the whole building.
Are they using some of the old wood or?
Yeah, they're trying to use as much as possible of the old materials and using traditional techniques as well. That's the whole idea, is to try and restore it back to what it would have been sort of 200 years ago.
Oh, we've got one over here that's been done. Should we go and?
Yeah, it's round the back.
Round the
actually.
back.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is a restored barn, Lily. Yeah, you're getting involved. We were saying that beautiful door that's hung there up in the mid-air, is where they used to bring the grain in and out.
Yes, that's right.
And that's
yes.
been restored with all new wood. And
Yeah.
but as much as possible, you've used the old materials and the tiles here. You're saying.
Yeah, they will use the original roof tiles as far as possible.
They're so much more beautiful than the modern agricultural buildings. It's no comparison, is there?
Across the country there are thousands and thousands of buildings just like this that are on the at-risk register and are in danger of collapsing and being lost forever.
Yeah.
So it is important where we can to try and intervene and save them from dereliction.
So who have we got here then, Luke?
Okay, we have quite got a little cluster here. We've got little light Brahmas. They're the ones with the black neck and the white body, trying to make a getaway.
Okay, so they're the big ones with the white
Fluffy legs.
Yeah, okay.
Their cockerel is there, trying to blend in and be a peek in. Okay, so see the cockerel's a little bit bigger. He's got a lovely arched tail.
Yeah.
And his dangly wattles and comb are a little bit bigger than the girls. Hiding on here, we have another Brahma. That's a dark Brahma. This one here. He's a young cockerel.
Come on, out you
Okay,
come.
he's being very shy. That's it. Go and show
let's
yourself.
have
Okay.
Okay, and who's here?
Okay, he is a farmyard crossbred.
Right.
He's one of the little cockerels that runs around the farmyard and makes our little chicks that we take out to the hospitals and schools and other bookings.
So now who's this? This is a mallard, but he's crossed with a farmyard duck.
Yeah, he's basically like a large farmyard duck, making more farmyard ducks.
There we go, as we were saying,
Okay,
making
crossbred babies in
I can't
action.
believe how...
Okay, this is the funny bit. When he falls off, look, there we go, macaroni, dangly bit. Did you see it?
No, I didn't see his willy.
Oh, no.
I missed it. Did you get his willy?
I don't think I did.
I know this is a family show though, Luke. It does go out. I mean, it's probably quite fortuitous that we missed the willy of Millar, but it has got a corkscrew.
Yeah, it's interesting because chickens don't have them. And the
No.
only reason ducks do is because when they mate in water, okay, it's very, very important that they make sure they fertilise that particular female.
Yeah.
And so basically having that little corkscrew there just makes sure that he knows he's the better, see,
He's
because he gets it in the right place.
Right in there. Because the thing is, yeah, I mean, most birds don't have a penis at all.
That's right,
do they?
absolutely.
They have cloacal kissing.
That's it, and his is basically what he does. He pushes his cloaca out, and
Yeah.
it basically inverts and makes a kind of
Sort
pretend
of-
penis.
Sort of rolls out.
Yeah.
Whereas most of them just have these kind of openings that they sort of go
Bend
like
to
that.
bend,
Call it
yes.
cloacal kissing, which I think is a nice term.
A nice term.
Yeah, the biologists have sort of come, yeah, it's good. It's good. They've come up with that. Who's running around in there?
And Indian runner ducks and a few khaki Campbells as well.
Hello. Hello, khaki. The khaki Campbells as well. That's it, running around.
All different colours under the sun. There we go.
Look, I'm stunned by them.
They're amazing, aren't they? People say they look like umbrellas, but I think that's a bit
They
unkind.
just look like people getting on the tube to work.
It's panic. I mean, look what they've done to the field. They've ruined it. And do you want them back again?
Yeah,
Boots away. Boots away. Away, away. These are my home. I'm going to move to Beautiful. And look, isn't she absolutely stunning?
Yeah, she is. She's
Yeah.
beautiful. Hello, what kind of goose is
She's a Steinbacher. They're a Russian fighting goose.
Oh,
and
so
they're
bred
this.
to fighting.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest with you though, it's the most placid breed of goose I actually keep.
Really?
Yeah, yeah, beautiful. I mean, they're stunning to look at. She's pretty placid. She's a fantastic mother, and she's this beautiful like grey coloration
Yeah.
all over.
Gorgeous. gorgeous. Hello, beauty.
Here we are, look at that. No, it's alright, good girl. There we go.
So here's some satisfied customers, Michelle.
Absolutely,
They look
yes.
quite cosy in their new barn.
They do, don't they? Yeah, this is a barn that we helped restore, I should say, about 5 years ago. Again, you know, using traditional techniques back to how it would have been originally. And it's providing excellent home and shelter for the animals of Millar's Ark.
Now, how if people want to restore their barns or do a countryside stewardship scheme on their land, plant wildflowers, have margins for wildlife, all sorts of different things you'll fund, won't you? Farmers and charities running land management schemes?
Yeah, any farmers and landowners, anybody that has land, you know, that is a manager of land, basically, we will consider for entry into the scheme, and people can contact our local office to get an application pack if they're interested in joining the scheme. Or people can look on the DEFRA website, which is defra.gov.uk.
Are you enjoying yourselves down there? Really, so we just lie down and snuggle up with those pigs, shall we? That looks very cosy, doesn't it?
People can buy from us breeding girls of the cattle, sheep and pigs that we have, and poultry, but the Rare Breed Survival Trust does have a very good scheme now for finishing its cattle and sheep so that they become a good meat product, and a lot of the, you know, the specialist butchers are using them. And I think if you've never tasted, you know, Rare Breed's meat, then you should get round to your local RBST approved butcher and try it. People want to know that the animals they're eating have had happy lives, have been killed humanely, and are going to taste good.
What's your favourite animal?
I think it's got to be the pigs. I will say I'm a real sucker for the pigs. I mean, they are just so gorgeous. Let's see if one will let us pick it up. Are you going to come and talk to me? These are very young, so they haven't been used to a lot of picking up, but this one's rather sweet. I think we should call her Clarissa. They are gorgeous. I think you can't beat a piglet and you can't beat a pig. They're such characters.
This is a boy. So beautiful. He's quite happy, and he's an Irish moyled.
M-O-I-L-E-D, yeah.
Moyley.
And it's pronounced Moyley in Ireland.
Irish moyled, and he's very rare, isn't he?
Yes, there's about 120 purebred left in the world. And we have the largest herd in England.
And he's a bull as well, and you're keeping them together so they get used to each other, and then they won't sort of have scraps when they're older.
That's right. Thank you, Clarence. Clarence is saying he's sure that Gladwyn's got a little tiny piece of bread somewhere here, and he hasn't.
I'm telling him that he's
yes, I
younger,
know.
that's
There's
expected.
nothing. No, it's all gone. All finished. Most of our cattle are rare breeds because we believe in preserving the rare genetic material. Partly because it seems an awful shame to lose it altogether, and also, thank you, Gladwyn, because we also think that there will come a time when the slow-growing British breeds that just grow on grass will be very significant in the future of farming.
Now these animals are they were used for both meat and milk.
Yes, they're what we call dual purpose, and they were used for both in Ireland.
And does it have a particular taste or a particular
It's all the slow-growing breeds taste better, I think, because they have the sort of succulency and what we call the marble texture. And a lot of the big food stores now in London, specialist food stores, are buying rare breeds meat because they've realised that there is a flavour as well as a history to it, which is much more interesting
But
and
you were
much
saying
tastier.
that we've tended to replace these breeds with continental breeds because they grow faster.
Yes, because the supermarket chains dictate what we buy and what we breed, and they want things that grow fast and are very meaty, have good bottoms, whereas places like Harrods and Fortnum and Masons are looking for taste and texture and quality, so they are now starting to buy the rare breeds through the Rare Breeds Meat Scheme, which is where breeders like myself can send animals on at a certain age to be finished for beef or pork or lamb, depending on, you know, whether you're talking about cattle, sheep, pigs, which is very exciting for us because we have a good outlet, a humane outlet for our meat, and we can be proud of that as well as the stock that we sell on live.
Brilliant.
Dolly just coming to check the picture out.
Do you not get attached to them though? I mean, if you're sort of...
We do. I mean, we try not to name the ones that we know will go for meat and get used to them. But of course, you still work with them, you still enjoy them, and it's very hard. I mean, when we do have the slaughterman in for the occasional boy that goes off for meat, it's a bad day. Yeah, you just have to accept that he's a byproduct of what we do and be thankful that 90% of what we do is selling live to good homes, which you can obviously then check how the animal is and hear how they're doing, and that's very satisfying. But in the end, it is a farm.
Yeah, that's Clarence going off. They just had to keep running them along because if they'd walked past the field with Clarence in, Aladdin, the other bull, would have a bit of a go at him. They had to keep running, and there were a few moments there where he looked like he might sort of take a bit of a pot shot at one of us, but anyway, he's gone in the field. Here we have it. Soap opera of the Irish Moilie. This is Clarence. He's really cross because he was in that field and Aladdin came onto his turf. In fact, Aladdin has actually been quite chilled out about the whole thing, really. But he has run down from the gate to stand directly opposite Clarence. And Clarence has been here for a while now in that field, so he considers this to be his place. So having just seen 2 Irish Moilers, we've now got a whole herd of them. You've got 30, which is a significant amount of the world's population.
It is the largest herd in England of full pedigree cows.
30 animals, and there's 120 in the world, so this is 1/4 of them.
Yeah, coming along, I suppose, when you put it like that. I just get used to working with them every day and forget to count. Falling flat on the little one. Right, we'll take some bread in. We've got Brian and Sylvie rushing down to be fed in their pig pen.
You feed them bread, do you?
Yeah, we feed
Oh, Brian's the pig, is
Brian the pig.
That's Sylvie.
This is Sylvie. That's Brian.
Pig, pig, pig!
Brian! We've got some bread for you, Brian.
I think he's found something tasty on the other side.
donkeys
He's
want
just
the
not
bread.
gonna come and see it.
Bri!
Hello. I know, I'm sweet. Come feed me.
We were talking earlier about how animals can have a special way of helping people who are vulnerable to sort of come out of themselves and get more confidence, and that's actually a story that's relevant to you, isn't it?
Yes, I mean, I suppose this is why I have a real, in a way, dream of communicating animals to people, because I grew up in London in a very academic family, and sort of success was all, and through various situations I actually had a breakdown in my teens quite severely and had to sort of leave the normal world for a couple of years while I sorted myself out. And it wasn't until I started farming in my mid-20s that I really got my happiness and equilibrium back, and that was really because I'd been on a childhood holiday to a farm and absolutely loved it. And when I'd finished university and got my languages degree, I wanted to do something different. But I thought, well, there's nothing to lose, and finally found someone who took me on and learnt everything on that farm and have loved it. And animals give me my whole kind of sanity and equilibrium. They make me laugh.
Around you, don't they?
Yeah. They
I mean, a lot of the
something.
people we work with would say the same thing, you know, that they sort of have a kind of a real sense of contentment and calm.
Yeah.
From working with you lot.
Just a little chap there rubbing at the back.
Who's in there?
Behind you, he's rubbing his paw on the door.
Just endlessly sort of entertaining, and they need you and you need them, and they just...
I think that's it. I think it's having them needing you for food and water and affection, and yet they, in a way, demand so little.
Yeah.
It's an uncomplicated... I mean, somebody I used to know said an animal never gives you a grade. You know, if you're kind to it and you feed it, then it will respond to you with affection and interaction, and that's really good because most human beings can't help but give you a grade within the first 3 minutes they've met you.
But they also don't, they sort of don't flatter you or sort of,
No.
you know, they don't lie. They
No,
just
that's
just
right.
are.
They are, and they accept you as they are, they forgive you, And I think, you know, hundreds of kids like me who grew up in the city or even in the countryside and just don't get to interact perhaps even with a dog or a cat, and I just want to share it with them because I think it is such an enabling experience, even if you don't go on to particularly want animals in your life, you know.
Okay, here we have the chicken identification guide at Millar's Ark, starting with Amanda.
Hi, I've got a cuckoo coaching cockerel.
A cuckoo coaching cockerel.
That's it.
What have you got?
I've got a barbadookle.
A barb. I thought you had. Lizzie?
I got a dark Brahma.
Luke?
And I've got a lavender aracuna. The females lay green eggs.
Now I have got a Japanese something. What have I got? A
Japanese bantams.
What? Oh,
Japanese bantam. Oh, there
Japanese bantam. And this is a little crossbreed under here. She's been trying to escape the whole time. And what? How many? And there are chickens everywhere, Chicken Man.
There are, and we'll meet a few more later on. We'll scatter some corn and see who comes out the woodwork.
Right. Should we let them go?
Let's let them go. Are you ready?
Go,
Just
yeah.
on the floor.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, go. Right, quick, get them before they fight.
Might they fight?
Yes.
Which makes great TV.
Great which one fight?
Oh, look, here we go. Look, he's
I think they banned cockfighting some years ago.
It's illegal.
It's illegal. Cockfighting is not entertainment. Place your bets now. Okay, we've caught all the males. They're not going. Why do some of them fight and the others are okay, Luke? I mean, you've got several cockerels in here. They're used to
they've
each
been
other.
brought up together.
Right.
They're much better. And some breeds are kind of have a complex. I mean, the little ones tend to be worse than the big ones.
Right.
These are very docile. The little ones tend to be a bit more sprightly.
They want to beat each other
Yes.
up. Are you docile? You
He's
look
very
fairly
docile.
Now this chap, he's sitting very calmly. You take him into schools to work
That's
with.
right, yep. Hazel and Amanda, etc., they take him to schools, nurseries, hospitals, hospices, you name it.
You two girls go out and do this every day in the in
Through
the
spring,
in the summer.
Yeah.
I go every day to schools and nurseries, teach children about different aspects of farming, to do with their feet and how they live and what they eat and things like that, depending on their age.
Oh, brilliant. And how can people, can people phone up and ask, you to come to their school or their hospice?
Absolutely.
What's the number?
It is 01256 701 847.
Have that again.
01256
like
701 847.
These ones live with each other. They're supposed to be friends.